Good morning. So today I was watching Kendall Ray covering the fake kidnapping of a young woman named Chloe, and the comment section was really interesting. There's a lot of comparison to faking your death, to just walking away, which of course is perfectly legal for an adult to do. And it got me thinking about the position that would put her boyfriend in. There's a quick clip towards the beginning of the video. It's only 1 minute and 11 seconds long, but in it, the reporter says the word boyfriend 3 times, mentions the boyfriend by name once, and has boyfriend written on the bottom of the screen. And I think that really is dangerous, that emphasis on the boyfriend immediately, because he was the last to hear from her, and he's the one that found her abandoned car. But he was completely innocent in this. It got me thinking about how terrifyingly difficult it can be to prove your innocence. If I were in that boyfriend's position, I'd be screwed. Both cops and media look for any irregularities to just lock in on. And I have some. I tend to compartmentalize in an emergency. I don't panic. And as a woman especially, they're looking for emotion and crying and things. And I'll do that later. I'll do that when things are taken care of. But in the moment, I'm going to be very calm. Sometimes I laugh when I'm nervous. It's just an awkward, nervous reaction. And those are the kinds of things that can make somebody just lock in on you and assume you're guilty. And then there's the fact that I never have an alibi. Maybe if I'm at a grocery store or something, there might be cameras or traffic cams, which are unfortunately everywhere in my city. But I'm always with family or alone. And family doesn't hold a lot of weight. With most police, there's this assumption that family might lie for you to provide you an alibi. So my alibi sucks. I don't have one. I would not take a polygraph to prove I didn't kill Abraham Lincoln. I do not trust them. They aren't admissible in court. I guess if people are unaware of how inaccurate they can be, it might be a really good tool to gauge their willingness to cooperate. But I think the general public is becoming more aware of the inaccuracy, and more people are refusing. And I think that's a good thing. I think unless they can perfect it and get it so it is accurate, they need to stop using it. So no polygraph, no alibi. I would offer up DNA. You can take my blood, take my hair, take my fingerprints, take whatever you want, whatever's going to help. But if it's a missing person like this, if it's a fake kidnapping and they don't have a body, they don't have anything to compare that evidence to, so it's useless. Yeah. Suspicion can ruin lives, and it can follow people long after it's been cleared up. It's just such a dangerous thing for this girl to do. For anyone to do something that is going to put someone else in the position of having to prove their innocence. I doubt she even thought about that. Thought about the fact that we're going to look at the significant other. We're going to look at the last person she was in contact with, and we're going to look at the person who finds evidence. All 3 of those happen to be her boyfriend. So whether she knew it or not, she was setting him up for a shattered life. Fortunately, she showed up very quickly and it didn't get that far, but I'm sure there were already rumors swirling, and I'm sure he was very aware of them. So I just wanted to pop in and remind everyone that it's not your job in court to prove your innocence. It is your opposition's job to prove your guilt. And I think the reason for that is, at least in part, that it is so damn difficult to prove you're innocent. If you did nothing wrong, you weren't expecting an event, you weren't planning to have to explain where you were. I think for most people, especially, so much crime occurs at night. People are home alone. Watching TV isn't a good alibi. Being asleep isn't a good alibi. Being with your wife isn't a good alibi. And it's just scary. And if a cop gets tunnel vision, your life could be over. You answer one question strangely, or you look the wrong way, a cop gets suspicious and you can't prove yourself, your life's over. I think most of us have pretty good judgment. I think we've gotten better at not immediately assuming the guilt of, the man standing up there asking for his wife to be returned. It still happens. Every missing woman, especially, there aren't as many male cases reported on, but missing women, a spouse or boyfriend will say, I miss you, come back, where are you? And there will be comments that he did it. It doesn't matter if there's zero evidence. It has nothing to do with evidence. It's this presumption that the partner is guilty. And then when they can't provide an alibi, they're really, really screwed. We need to remember it is innocent until proven guilty. You do not have to prove your innocence. I think the first nonprofit I was introduced to was in middle school. A teacher I had was promoting the Innocence Project. It's so important. So many people have been destroyed by assumptions. People's lives have been ruined unnecessarily. So it's just something to keep in mind. If you're ever accused of a crime, you are not responsible for proving your innocence, but the public will judge. The public will decide what they think of you, and you just got to listen to lawyers, take their advice, hope they know what they're doing, because I don't see a guaranteed way out of that. Hopefully you'll never be in that position. All of you are frequently in the position to judge others, and I think this case serves as a good reminder that it's worth withholding judgment. I think the last 3 or 4 cases that I've seen where the husband was accused by some, he turned out to be innocent. But there are plenty of cases where they're not, so the suspicion is warranted. The spouse, the significant other, deserves a look. But unless there's evidence, they don't deserve an attack. They don't deserve the label of guilty. They deserve the label of significant other of someone who disappeared. And that's it. It's frustrating, all of that. The fact that you have to prove your innocence, that it's difficult to prove your innocence, that you might not be able to, that the public is judging you. All of the, innocent until proven guilty, guilty until proven innocent, all of that stuff would be going on while going through something terrifying, while missing this person you love, while worrying, are they cold and alone and crying out for me? A lot of men in particular feel like it's their job to be the physical protector of their loved ones, their families. Women feel a nurturing responsibility that is their job to take care of them. So both men and women are just devastated by the disappearance of someone that they love. It is ingrained in their identity that you take care of each other. And if you can't do that, you can feel like you failed when you didn't. If anybody here has been through this, if your loved one was taken, it is not your fault. It's just a lot to be going through emotionally. So to have the burden of proof on you on top of that, and then regardless of any evidence, the general public, the media, sometimes police just locking in on you with tunnel vision that, you know, there are people who will not let go. Even after a case is resolved, are convinced that the person they thought was guilty was involved somehow. They just get locked into a theory and can't shake it, no matter what the evidence shows. And we have to be able to move with the evidence, learn from what's discovered, follow that, even if it doesn't lead where we expect it to, where we want it to, in some cases. Anyway, so remember, you have to prove guilt. You don't have to prove innocence. Please be patient with people. Please be aware of what they're going through, and use your instinct. You know, don't back down because you don't want to call someone guilty. If you feel that there's something there, speak. But you don't have to attack, and you don't have to state it as fact. That's it. Remember, innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. Think about your own alibi. Today is Thursday. So what were you doing last Thursday at 1:40 p.m. or 1:40 a.m.? Just randomly try to remember those two times last Thursday. What if you had to provide an explanation for your location, proof of what you were doing in that moment? Some of you probably could, but I suspect a lot of people would struggle. I personally would struggle even to remember where I was at 1:40 last Thursday, outside of sitting in a parking lot waiting for a high school student. Days blur. I have no idea what last Thursday was. Stay safe, listen to your instincts, and I will be back soon. The crime calendar should be going up, I'm thinking June 5th. It's going to be a weekly series, and I'm thinking Wednesdays. Not dead set on that, but I'm thinking it'll be Wednesdays starting in June. All right, stay safe. Bye. I have no idea what last Thursday was. Yeah, I'm blanking a lot. Okay.